Women over 60. Do this, and men will treat you like a queen instantly.
Have you ever felt like you're giving everything, yet somehow you're not receiving the love or respect you truly deserve? That feeling is heavy, isn't it? The truth is, it's not about chasing or begging for someone's attention. It's about living with a quiet confidence that naturally commands respect. And that shift, especially in dating after 60, can change everything. At 20, love feels like fireworks. At 40, it becomes the search for stability. But after 60, love after 60 takes on a deeper meaning. For women over 60, it's no longer about proving yourself to anyone. It's about remembering your worth, embracing your wisdom, and carrying yourself in a way that men rise to meet you with devotion. With time, we begin to see what truly matters, not the grand gestures or the fleeting charm of youth, but the steady presence of respect, tenderness, and the comfort of being seen as an equal. That kind of love is richer, quieter, and far more lasting. So today, I want to share with you 5 ways that inspire men to treat women over 60 like a queen. They are not tricks, but reflections drawn from the heart of senior romance and the lessons of life after 60. They remind us that love and respect are never lost with age. They are revealed by the way we carry ourselves. Before we begin, if something I share today reminds you of your own journey in love after 60, I'd be honored if you'd subscribe to Wise Life After 60 and pass this along to a friend who could use a little hope in her heart. This is the moment that shows a woman's real worth in love after 60.
Thing number 1. Confidence is queen. I've come to believe that confidence is the crown a woman wears, and it is the very thing that makes men treat her like a queen. Confidence doesn't mean you walk into a room demanding attention. It means you walk in already knowing your worth, even if no one else claps for you. In dating after 60, this truth becomes even more powerful. Because by this stage of life, the world has already tried to tell women that their shine has dimmed. But I've seen the opposite. A woman who believes in herself after 60 is more radiant than she ever was in her 20s. It begins quietly with the way you talk to yourself. I've known women who whisper in their minds, "I'm too old. I don't deserve better. I've missed my chance." And I've also watched those same women turn everything around when they started telling themselves a different story. I am worthy of love and respect. I bring wisdom, joy, and value into any relationship. The way you speak to yourself becomes the way others learn to speak to you. I remember a dear friend of mine, Ellen. She had gone through a long, difficult marriage and was certain no man would ever look at her with admiration again. She carried herself small, shoulders bent, eyes to the floor. But one day she decided she was done apologizing for existing. She joined a painting class, started wearing colors she loved, and each morning she stood in front of the mirror and whispered, "You are more than enough." Within months, I watched her transform. She stood taller, laughed louder, and before long, a kind gentleman in that same class started bringing her coffee, drawn not only by her appearance, but by the warmth and confidence she carried. Confidence shows up not only in your words, but in your body language. Shoulders back, chin lifted, steady eye contact, these are not just gestures. They are signals to your own mind. Studies have shown that posture influences emotions. When you carry yourself with dignity, you feel dignified, and men respond to that energy. A queen doesn't shrink into the corner of the room. She takes her space gracefully, unapologetically. The beauty of confidence is that it isn't built in a single day. It grows as you invest in yourself, learn new skills, and stay curious about life. A woman who keeps evolving is never boring. She is interesting, inspiring, and magnetic. Men are naturally drawn to women over 60 who live fully because these qualities signal strength, independence, and self-worth. That is the heartbeat of senior romance, not two people clinging to each other out of fear, but two whole people meeting as equals. Confidence is queen. And when you wear that crown with quiet grace, men have no choice but to recognize your value. That is how they come to treat you like a queen, not because you begged for it, but because you believed in it first. And yet confidence alone is not enough, because once you begin to honor yourself, the next step is to protect that worth by defining how others are allowed to treat you.
Thing number 2, set clear boundaries. What happens when you allow someone to cross a line and you say nothing? At first, it seems small, almost harmless. But slowly, without realizing it, you begin to teach them how little they can give and how much you will accept. In Love After 60, a woman's strength does not come from how much she endures, but from how clearly she defines what cannot be ignored. Boundaries are not walls to keep love away. They are gates that protect the dignity inside you. When you calmly say, "This is what I will allow, and this is what I will not," you invite respect into your life. I've learned that women over 60 who set clear boundaries are often the most cherished in senior romance. Why? Because they send a message that love without respect is not love at all. A man cannot truly treat you like a queen if you allow him to dishonor you. A queen does not chase after crumbs of affection. She decides what is worthy, and she waits for nothing less. This is not about anger, punishing someone, or proving who is stronger. It is about living by your own values and holding steady when someone tests them. Boundaries may feel uncomfortable at first, but they become the quiet language of self-respect. Without them, even the deepest love will eventually erode. The beauty of boundaries is that they simplify life. They draw a clear line between what nourishes you and what drains you. They give men something solid to rise to, a standard worth respecting. And in dating after 60, men often admire a woman more deeply when she shows she cannot be swayed by sweet words alone. Let me ask you something. Have you ever found that the moment you finally spoke your truth, people treated you differently? I'd love for you to share that in the comments. Your story may be the encouragement another woman needs today. Boundaries are not about shutting others out. They are about inviting the right kind of love in. And when you live this way, you teach the world to handle your heart with care. Still, boundaries only hold their power when they rest on a deeper foundation, the way you treat yourself first. Thing number 3, respect yourself first. Every relationship is a mirror, and the first reflection it shows is how you see yourself. When you respect yourself, you quietly teach others to do the same. And when you neglect your own value, people often follow your lead without even realizing it. I remember a neighbor of mine, Rowena. She was in her 70s, soft-spoken and kind, but always the first to apologize, even when she had done nothing wrong. Her children, her friends, even the men she dated, they all took from her without giving much in return. One day, after a particularly painful breakup, she told me, "I think I've been teaching people all my life that my needs don't matter." That moment of honesty was the turning point. She began doing small things differently, eating at the restaurant she preferred, saying no when she was tired, speaking up when someone interrupted her. And slowly I saw her whole world shift. People leaned in when she spoke, listened more closely, and yes, men began to treat her differently. That is the essence of senior romance. It is not about demanding devotion. It is about living in such a way that respect flows naturally toward you. In dating after 60, the most magnetic women are not the ones who give endlessly without pause, but those who balance kindness with self-respect. They know that saying no is not selfish, it is necessary. Respecting yourself also means honoring your time and energy. It means recognizing that your life is valuable, your experiences matter, and your presence is a gift. When you live that truth, you create a standard for others to rise to. And men, especially in love after 60, often admire women who hold themselves with quiet dignity. It signals that they are in the presence of someone who will not settle for less than she deserves. The heart of this truth is simple. You cannot expect someone else to treat you like a queen if you are treating yourself like a servant. When you speak kindly about yourself, when you carry yourself with calm strength, when you take care of your own needs, you show the world how to love you. Respect begins with you, and when you live by that, others learn to follow. But self-respect is not only about what you give to yourself, it's also about knowing when to hold back, when not to give away too much, and that is where the next truth reveals itself.
Thing number 4. Stop chasing, start attracting. What if the secret to being cherished wasn't in the running, but in the stillness? What if love comes not when you chase after it, but when you stand firmly in your own light? In dating after 60, one of the greatest shifts is realizing that you no longer need to prove yourself, no longer need to beg for attention. A woman who lives fully, who is complete in herself, does not chase, she attracts. And that is the essence of being treated like a queen. There's an old Eastern proverb that says, "The flower does not chase the bee, it simply blooms, and the bee comes." The same is true for women over 60. When you bloom where you are planted, when you nurture your joy, your curiosity, and your spirit, the right kind of man is naturally drawn to you. You don't have to knock on every door or plead for someone to see your worth. You live in such a way that your worth cannot be ignored. Another truth I've found is this: chasing often comes from fear, while attracting comes from peace. Fear whispers, "If I don't hold on tightly, I'll lose it." But peace says, "If it is right for me, it will find me." And in love after 60, peace is more magnetic than desperation ever could be. Men feel that difference. They are drawn not to anxiety, but to calm assurance. This doesn't mean you sit still and wait. It means you fill your life with things that light you up: friendships, passions, adventures, and growth. And in doing so, you become radiant. That radiance is what pulls the right people closer. Tell me, have you found that when you stopped trying so hard, the right connections seem to appear more easily? I'd love to hear your experience in the comments, because your story might just give someone else the courage to stop chasing and start attracting. The beauty of this truth is that it frees you. You no longer waste energy convincing others. Instead, you invest in your own becoming. And when you live like this, men don't just notice you. They admire you, respect you, and long to be worthy of your presence.
Attracting love by living fully is powerful, but it isn't the final chapter. The real magic is what happens when you keep growing, when you refuse to stop evolving no matter your age.
Thing number 5. Keep evolving and valuing growth. I once knew a woman named Iris, who at 68 decided she wanted to learn the violin. Most people might have thought it was too late to start, but Iris didn't care. She bought a second-hand instrument, found a patient teacher, and practiced every morning. Soon she joined a small community group, and I still remember the look on her face the night she played in her very first recital. She wasn't flawless, but she was radiant. Men and women alike admired her not for her music, but for the life she breathed into the room. She wasn't waiting for someone else to bring her joy. She was creating it. That story has stayed with me because it captures what makes women over 60 so magnetic when they choose to keep growing. In dating after 60, it isn't youth or perfection that draws others close. It's vitality, curiosity, and the quiet message that life is still unfolding. A woman who keeps evolving carries an energy that says, "I am alive, I am whole, and I am still becoming." This is one of the greatest secrets of senior romance. Men are drawn to women who value their own growth. It signals strength and independence, but also a kind of irresistible dignity. It tells a man, "If you walk with me, you must walk as my equal." And that is how a woman teaches him to treat her like a queen, not through demands, but through the life she continues to build. Philosophers have long said that stagnation leads to decay, while growth brings renewal. I believe this is true in love as well. When you continue to evolve, whether by learning new skills, traveling, volunteering, or nurturing your health, you keep your spirit alive, and that spirit is what makes you captivating. There's also something deeply human about growth. It reminds us that we are never finished, no matter our age. Life after 60 is not a closing chapter. It is a chance to write something new. When you choose to grow, you remind the world that wisdom and vitality can walk hand in hand. Men feel this difference. They see a woman still blooming, and they want to rise beside her, not out of pity, not out of duty, but out of admiration. Growth doesn't mean becoming someone else. It means uncovering more of who you already are. And when you live this way, love does not have to be chased. It finds you, naturally, because your light makes it impossible to miss. The crown of confidence, the shield of boundaries, the dignity of self-respect, the peace of attracting instead of chasing, all of it shines brighter when carried by a woman who never stops growing.
As I look back on these reflections, I'm reminded that being treated like a queen has little to do with crowns or thrones. It has everything to do with how you live and how you carry yourself in this chapter of life. In dating after 60, it is not the loud gestures or the fleeting chase of youth that matter most, but the quiet strength of knowing who you are. For women over 60, confidence becomes your crown, boundaries are your guard, self-respect is your foundation. Attraction flows not from chasing, but from living fully. And growth, that beautiful choice to keep evolving, becomes the light that shines through every room you enter. These are not tricks. They are not games. They are the timeless qualities of a high-value woman, qualities that remind men how to respect, honor, and cherish you. I believe this is the heart of senior romance. At this stage, love is no longer about filling an emptiness. It is about celebrating wholeness. It is about two people walking together as equals, each carrying their own wisdom, their own dignity, their own joy. When you live like this, love after 60 doesn't feel like a final chapter. It feels like a new beginning. So if something I've shared today has touched you, I'd be honored if you would like this video, share it with someone who might need these words, and subscribe to Wise Life After 60 for more reflections on love, growth, and the beauty of aging with grace. Never forget, your worth is unshakable, your light is still shining, and love that honors you is what you deserve. May your spirit stay gentle and strong until we meet again.